All right, everybody. Welcome to the Real Bible Study. Thank you all for joining me tonight. For those who don't know me, my name is Danielle Jordan, and I am your Bible study facilitator. Tonight, we are going to be in Exodus 17 and 18. And as we do every week, we're going to open with our prayer. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Lord, open our eyes
Lord,
Open our eyes
so we can see something we've never saw before.
so we can see something we never saw before.
Open our ears
Open our ears
so we can hear something we've never heard before.
we can hear something we never heard before.
And open our hearts
And open our heart
so we can receive something we've never received before.
so we can receive something we never received before.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, so we're going to start in Exodus 17, and you guys know I'll read aloud and you read silently from whatever version that you have. Are we ready?
Yes.
The entire Israelite community left the wilderness of sin, moving from one place to the next, according to the Lord's command. They camped at R.E.A.L, but there was no water for the people to drink. So the people complained to Moses, "Give us water to drink." "Why are you complaining to me?" Moses replied to them. "Why are you testing the Lord?" But the people thirsted there for water and grumbled against Moses. They said, "Why did you ever bring us up from Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What should I do with these people? In a little while, they will stone me." The Lord answered Moses, "Go on ahead of the people and take some of the elders of Israel with you. Take the staff you struck the Nile with in your hand and go. I'm going to stand there in front of you on the rock at Horeb. When you hit the rock, water will come out of it and the people will drink." Moses did this in the sight of the elders of Israel. He named the place Massah and Meribah because of the Israelites' complaint and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" At Rehoboam, Amalek came and fought against Israel. Moses said to Joshua, "Select some men for us and go fight against Amalek. Tomorrow, I will stand on a hilltop with God's staff in my hand." Joshua did as Moses had told him and fought against Amalek, while Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. While Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed, but whenever he put his hand down, Amalek prevailed. When Moses' hand grew heavy, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat down on it. Then Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained steady until the sun went down. So Joshua defeated Amalek and his army with the sword. The Lord then said to Moses, "Write this down on a scroll as a reminder and recite it to Joshua. I will completely blot out the memory of Amalek under heaven." And Moses built an altar and named it, "The Lord is my banner." He said, "Indeed, my hand is lifted up toward the Lord's throne. The Lord will be at war with Amalek from generation to generation." All right, ladies. So if I had to put a title to this week's Bible study lesson, I'm going to title it, "I'm Feeling Dehydrated." I'm feeling dehydrated. I'm sure you know by now that my favorite drink is Pepsi. I love Pepsi. But it doesn't always love me, because the more I drink it, the more I become dependent on it. And then when I don't have it, I go through withdrawals. I get headaches, and then I start feeling a little fatigue. Sometimes I have a bad mood, and when I'm thirsty, I prefer Pepsi over anything else. Because when I'm thirsty, I want the thing that I prefer to quench my thirst. And when I'm real thirsty, Pepsi doesn't seem to satisfy my thirst. And I might start feeling like I'm dehydrated because I need something different. See, ladies, sometimes what you thirst for can't be satisfied with what you have been doing. So you got to try something different. If you had to give the definition of dehydrated, if you had to define it, how would you define dehydrated?
Thirsty.
Thirsty? Thirsty. Okay. So dehydrated is defined as having lost a large amount of water from the body, resulting in it not having enough fluid to carry its normal functions. And chronic dehydration can lead to fever, fatigue, bad mood, cravings for sweets, and a headache. Similar to how I feel when I don't have my Pepsi. So for tonight's lesson, we're going to define dehydrated as a state of not being able to function properly because we are thirsty. So my first question, ladies, that I want you to write down is, what are you thirsty for? What are you thirsty for? Have you ever felt dehydrated? Anybody on here? Have you ever felt dehydrated? You just give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Felt like you wasn't functioning properly because you were thirsty for something? What if the cure for your dehydration is more than replenishing the fluids you lost, but it's more about that thing that you are thirsty for? What if you need to be dehydrated so you can go through withdrawal from the very thing that is making you thirsty? Just like our reading for tonight, the Israelites find themselves complaining again, and this time it's about being thirsty. And instead of turning to the source themselves, they turn to Moses. The Israelites are just like us. Sometimes when we are thirsty, we turn to other things to quench for thirst instead of the ultimate source. My next question, what sources are you turning to quench your thirst? Let's dive in. In Exodus 17, 1 through 4, who's dehydrated? Dehydrated in Exodus 17, 1 through 4?
The Israelites.
The Israelites. They went from the wilderness of sin and moving from place to place, just as the Lord commanded them. They camped at R.E.A.L, but there was no water. They complained to Moses, asking him, why would you bring us from Egypt to have us just die from thirst? Moses asked God, what am I going to do with these people? The Israelites complained when they were hungry. They complained when they were under Pharaoh's rule and they wanted to be free. But what they don't realize, ladies, is freedom comes with a price. When they were under Pharaoh, they had water readily at their hand, and they were never dehydrated. But now that they are free, they have to work to get their water, and they're not used to that. Let's park here. So to have my thirst quenched and not suffer from dehydration, God, you're telling me I have to do some work? Because dehydration happens when I am in lack, and that lack affects how I function. In Exodus 17, 5 and 7, what was God's solution to that dehydration? What was his solution?
He struck a rock and water came out?
Yes. He said, take some of the elders with you and take that rod or that staff that you had in your hand that you struck the Nile with. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be standing up there with you, before you, on that rock in R.E.A.L. And you're going to strike that rock and water will come out of it. And God named this place Messiah and Meribah. Messiah translates to be trial or temptation. And Meribah translates to mean quarrel or strife. Anybody need me to give you those definitions again?
What was the one?
Okay, so the first one, Messiah, translates to be trial or temptation. And Meribah translates to mean quarrel or strife, like an argument. So let's park here. My God, so you are telling me to cure my dehydration, all I have to do is go or move, basically. And when I move, you're going to show up and be there for me and provide the cure to my dehydration. Also, my dehydration may come during a time when I'm being tempted or having an argument. Because sometimes when I'm going through, it's when I'm the thirstiest. Ladies, don't let your dehydration cause you to settle for Pepsi when you need water. In Exodus 17, 8 through 9, who was dehydrated? So now we're in 8 to 9. Who would you say was dehydrated? The Amaleks. Amalek comes to fight Israel. And does anybody remember from our previous study who Amalek was? We found out about him in Genesis 36 and 12. He was the grandson of Esau. He was the grandson of Esau, who was, of course, the twin to Jacob. And then we know Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So now I'm wondering if Amalek heard the stories about what happened between his grandfather and his great uncle, and he did this attack for some type of revenge. However, Moses told Joshua, get you some men and go fight. And tomorrow I'm going to stand on a hilltop with God's staff in my hand. So let's park here. Soon as I get some hydration, here comes some more trials and tribulations. As you continue down your path to being hydrated, the things that you thirst for are going to change because you are changing. Just because you got your thirst quenched in your past by one means doesn't mean you won't be thirsty where you are now. The difference now should be when you are thirsty, you go to God and ask him what you need to do to quench your thirst. In Exodus 17, 10 through 11, what happens to the thirsty Amaleks? What happens to them in verses between verses 10 and 11? They lose. Yes, Miss Maria, they lost. So they got defeated. So in my studies, I learned that Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill to watch and pray. And while Moses held his hands up, Israel was winning. And every time he put his hands down, Amalek was winning. Let's park here. I remember when Moses was thirsty back in Exodus. He was a fighter and he didn't have a prayer life. Do y'all remember that? But now that God has entered into his life and showed him what happens when he prays, Moses said, I'm going to do what I do best and I will pray while the others fight. Ladies, sometimes battles aren't going to be won by just you fighting literally. You might have to fight with your prayers. Learn in the instance to do what you do best. In Exodus 17, 12 through 13, what did the men do to help Moses so he wouldn't get dehydrated?
Kept his hands up.
Yes, they set him on a rock, and Aaron and Hur held up his hands. That's what I'm talking about, ladies. Get you an Aaron and a Hur so that when you are tired and you can't hold your hands up to pray any longer, they will be there to hold you up. Matthew 18 and 20 says, when 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I will be there also. There he was. He had 3. Moses, Aaron, and Hur, 3, praying. And God was amongst them. In Exodus 17, 14 through 16, what did God tell Moses to do so that he won't be thirsty about this situation in the future?
Write it down on a scroll.
You better say it,
permanent
Ashley.
reminder.
You better say it. He said, write this down on a scroll as a reminder and recite it to Joshua. Because I'm going to completely blot out this memory of Amalek under heaven. Moses built an altar and he named it, the Lord is my banner. So unfortunately, from my studies, this will not be the last battle with the Amalekites. They will surface again in future books in the Bibles. Some scholars suggest that the battles that were faced in the Bible against the Amalekites are similar to the battles that we have with our flesh. Our flesh stays thirsty. It needs to stay hydrated because when it is hydrated, we operate better. I heard a saying that says, don't make any big decisions on an empty stomach. And I'm going to say this applies to being thirsty as well. Ladies, don't be so thirsty that you will drink from any cup handed to you. Everybody's cup doesn't have what you need in it because you might need water and it got Pepsi. As we continue on our journey through Exodus, we will begin to see how to handle situations that hydrate you instead of leaving you feeling thirsty. Before I go to 18, is there anything that we want to discuss in 17? No? Okay, y'all ready to move to 18?
Yes.
All right. Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian, heard about everything that God had done for Moses and for God's people, Israel, when the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt. Now, Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, had taken in Sephora, which was Moses' wife, after he sent her back, along with her 2 sons, one of whom was named Gershom, because Moses had said, I have been a resident alien in a foreign land, and the other Eliza, because he said, the God of my father was my helper and rescued me from Pharaoh's sword. Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, along with Moses' wife and sons, came to him in the wilderness where he was camped at the mountain of God. He sent word to Moses, I, your father-in-law, Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and your 2 sons. So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed down, and then kissed him. They asked each other how they'd been and went into the tent. Moses recounted to his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardships that confronted them on the way, and how the Lord rescued them. Jethro rejoiced over all the good things the Lord had done for Israel when he rescued them from the power of the Egyptians. Blessed be the Lord, Jethro exclaimed, who rescued you from the power of Egypt and from the power of Pharaoh. He has rescued the people from under the power of Egypt. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods because he did wonders when the Egyptians acted arrogantly against Israel. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and sacrifices to God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses' father-in-law in good presence. The next day, Moses sat down to judge the people, and they stood around Moses from morning until evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw everything he was doing for them, he asked, what is this you doing for these people? Why are you alone sitting to judge? While all these people stand around you from morning until evening? Moses replied to his father-in-law, because the people come to me to inquire of God. Whenever they have a dispute, it comes to me, and I make a decision between one man and another. I teach them God's statutes and laws. What you're doing is not good, Moses' father-in-law said to him. You will certainly wear out both yourself and these people who are with you because the task is too heavy for you. You can't do it alone. Now listen to me. I will give you some advice, and God be with you. You be the one to represent the people before God and bring their cases to him. Instruct them about the statutes and laws and teach them the way to live and what they must do. But you should select from all the people able men, God-fearing, trustworthy, and hating dishonest profit. Place them over the people as commanders of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They should judge the people at all times. Then they can bring you every major case, but judge every minor case themselves. In this way, you will lighten your load, and they will bear it with you. If you do this, and God so directs you, you will be able to endure. And also, all these people will be able to go home satisfied. Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. So Moses chose able men with all Israel and made them leaders over the people, as commanders of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They judged the people at all times. They would bring the hard cases to Moses, but they would judge every minor case themselves. Moses let his father-in-law go, and he journeyed to his own land. Okay. Let's dive in. In Exodus 18, 1 through 6, who came to meet Moses in the desert of Midian? Who came to meet him in that?
The father-in-law.
The father-in-law.
His father.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, he heard about all the good that the Lord had done. He heard how when the people needed to be freed, he freed them. And when they were hungry, he fed them. And when they were thirsty, he hydrated them. Jethro was also coming to bring back Moses' wife and their sons. Let's park here. Once I'm hydrated, God, you going to bring back some of my stuff? See, while I was thirsty, I lost some things because I couldn't appreciate it, because I wasn't operating properly. But now that I'm hydrated, God, you are going to bring it back. Not only are you going to bring it back, but I don't even have to go and get it. You're going to bring it to me. Look at how good God is. He don't even make you go back yourself and get it. He bring it right back to your doorstep. In Exodus 18, 7 through 12, how did Jethro react when he saw Moses was hydrated? What did Jethro do? What happened between 7 and 12?
He was happy.
He was happy, and what else? He gave an offering and sacrifices to God, and they basically came down to eat. I would say they had a party. So I said Jethro rejoiced when he heard all of the great things that Moses had accomplished with the Lord. Jethro knew Moses when he was dehydrated, making decisions based on being thirsty. But now that he is hydrated, Jethro gets to see him be the man that God knew he could be all along. Ladies, I want you to write this down. If you think I'm cute now, wait till you see me hydrated by God. If you think I'm cute now, wait till you see me hydrated by God. In Exodus 18, 13 through 16, what did Jethro observe Moses doing?
He saw him judging the people.
Yes, he was at work, y'all. He saw him at work. Moses sat to judge the people, and they stood around him from morning to night. So Jethro asked Moses, what are you doing for the people? Why are you sitting here being a judge alone? And why are they standing around here from morning to night? Moses said, the people come to me to inquire of God. Whenever they have a dispute, it comes to me, and I make a decision between one man and another, and then I teach them God's statutes and laws. Let's park here. Jethro was asking Moses what he was doing because he saw the people had him working day and night. Jethro saw where this was going. He saw that if Moses kept this going just like this, every day in and every day coming out, he was going to be thirsty again. So we need to look at some of our habits, ladies, of what we're doing. And if maybe some of those ways we doing things, we need to switch that up, because that could be why we thirsty. In Exodus 18, 17 through 20, what advice did Jethro give Moses?
To get some people to help.
Yes, get you some help. He said, look, the way you're doing this is not good. You are going to wear yourself out. You're going to be dehydrated because this task is too heavy for you to do by yourself. You need help. You are going to be the one to represent the people before God and bring their cases to him. And you're going to be the one to teach them about the statutes and laws and to teach them how to live and what they should do. Let's park here. First thing, Jethro had to truly care about Moses, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have said anything to him. Second, Moses had to trust Jethro, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have received what he said. And third, Moses was humbled enough to know that he doesn't know everything. and he was receptive to Jethro's advice. My next point, ladies, listen to the right elders, not any elders, the right elders' advice. Not because they are always right, but because they may have more experiences at being wrong. You can't take advice from just anybody. Make sure the ones you are taking the advice from has been hydrated from that same thirst. So you can't take any advice from somebody that's thirsty and it ain't your same type of thirst. Make sure they then got through what you need to get through. In Exodus 18:21-22, Jethro tell Moses to delegate some of his responsibilities to.
Capable men.
Yes, he said, pick able, God-fearing, trustworthy, and honest men. Place them over the people as commanders. They will judge the minor cases themselves and bring you the major ones. This will lighten your load, and they will help you bear that load. Let's park here. You need help, Moses, and you need, and not asking for this help. It doesn't make you weak, but I don't want you to pick just anybody. These people have to meet the criteria, and they can't be thirsty. Ladies, don't let anybody help you. Make sure when you are reaching out for help, they are not thirsty, because we know when you are thirsty, you are not operating properly. And if their current actions don't match where you're going, that's not the help you need. Also, the help you need might not come from the person you expect that help to come from. Accept it anyway. We expect certain things from certain people, and then we get mad when they don't show up for us. My next point. This next point helped me so much, ladies. Stop filling positions with people who never asked to be there in the first place. So here I am asking you to help me, and I put you in a position that you ain't never even asked to be there. So how am I be mad at you for filling a position that you ain't even asked to be in? And so then I'm asking you for help, and you can't even help me, and I'm mad because you can't give me no help when you ain't even really want to help me anyway. And you ain't even asked to be in that position. In Exodus 18:23-27, what did Moses do to help ensure he stays hydrated? He took his father-in-law's advice. And by doing this, he would be able, yes, he listened. He took his father-in-law's advice, and by doing this, he will be able to do his job better, and he won't be dehydrated. He will have time for his family. The people won't have to wait for long periods of time to get their cases heard, and he began to teach others to be great leaders. How do you know you are great if you are never given the opportunity? How do you know you are great if you are never given the opportunity to be great? D.L. Moody said it better. To set 100 men to work than to do the work of 100 men is far better. Let these 100 men do the work instead of you doing the work of 100 men. So before we tie this together, is there anything that we want to discuss at 18? Okay. We're going to tie it together. Let me make sure we're ready.
That you need God to quench your thirst.
My God, you need God to quench your thirst. I love it, Renee. Yes, I I like that too, Marianne. These chapters remind me of boundaries. Yes. What else? What else did we learn? These was quick chapters this week. So what else? What else did we learn? It was funny for me to see. I've heard the stories about how yeah, sometimes you fight with prayer. Yes, I love it. That this you hear the stories about the water coming out the rock, but now since we've been studying the whole Exodus and we got to this part, I'm like, wow, boy, God done did it again. So now he giving them water out of a rock. Because he didn't already, previous chapters, like we learned, they were hungry. He fed them. And so it's like now they thirsty and he gave them water. And so I was like, wow, you never cease to amaze me. What else? What else did anybody learn or get from the lesson?
Well, I more so had a question. Right, so they was fighting. That mean they killed them people. But I thought killing was wrong.
Well, so they killed the people, right? But the people was attacking them. So they just didn't go out and say, I'm gonna kill you. They was protecting themselves. So at this point, I get what you're saying, Johnny, but at this point, it's either kill or be killed. Yeah,
so
they killed them people. Yeah, it was self-defense.
Okay.
It was self-defense. That's a story, and we sticking to it. It was self-defense. These people came up against them to try to take their land, and they had to protect what was theirs. They didn't fought, and they didn't gone through too much to get here. They didn't had to get out of slavery. They had been enslaved for 400 years. You ain't gonna just come up here and take this. We worked too hard for this. But I liked it. What you say, Mom?
I want to add on to that because the way I see it too is Moses and them, those are God's chosen people, so they're inside of God's will. If you're attacking God's chosen people, you're kind of outside of God's will. That looks like death, aka these people die.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Those were his chosen people, and they favored. So God was probably okay with that. He said, "Okay, I'm not gonna say he's gonna let this slide because we all still know that it ain't over for these children of Israel either." Right. And I guess maybe they did. They could. I mean, we don't have the whole thing, but maybe they did try to talk to him though. And they already knew who this person was, and they already knew the history that came with that, because he was Esau's grandson. So they like, yeah, you coming with some stuff, because you ain't just coming to take our land. You coming with a purpose behind this. There's a purpose behind this pain you trying to impede upon us. You feel like these people took your grandfather's birthright, right? If we're going back to the story. So I'm just trying to take back what I feel was wrongfully taken from me, even though we learned that Esau was never going to be the one to get the birthright anyway. Even though with all his trickery, he was still trying to get it, but it was never his. And so and that's probably another reason, Monet and Johnny, what happened, why they had to get dealt with the way they got dealt with, because when you gonna learn? You heard the stories.
I like that.
You heard the stories of what was going on over these years. You knew what happened, and you still coming because because who knows how they spent it. Because Esau might have been telling the story, but he forgave his brother. Remember when they came and they got reunited, when he came back with him and his family, he said, I forgive you. But who knows how the story got spent? It's just like when that game of telephone, when I tell you and you tell you and you tell you and you tell you, by the time we get to the end, the whole story is different. And they be like, well, this is what I heard, but that's not even what I said. So that could also have been in place. And what else we going to discuss? What else do we battles are not for us to fight alone. Let God handle it. Let God fight it with us, right? Not just us fighting. And know what role you need to play in the fight. Because somebody need to somebody had to go fight, but somebody also had to be praying. So if you ain't good with throwing them bowls, you might need to be praying. So know where you roll. Know your role in the fight. What else?
I learned who the Amaleks were, because I never heard of it.
Yes,
and
that's
kind of like how where they derive from definitely makes sense about why they would have all this animosity and kind of, so that does make sense. And then, I also kind of like how we were talking about how when you are dehydrated, in a sense, God is pulling you away from stuff to make you realize that's not what you're supposed to be doing. That's not meant for you. You have something bigger in the future. So you want to have to be thirsty from this and hungry from this for a minute.
For a minute.
Later.
And then think about it. What you gonna get in return, though, Shantanese? You might be thirsty from this Pepsi, right? And then, but once I give you what you really gonna drink, it's gonna be far better than that Pepsi you had. It's gonna be colder. It's gonna be more refreshing. Look, it's not gonna put that weight on you. The 15 pounds that I done gained from drinking these Pepsis every day, it's not gonna do that. It's gonna be better for you, all the way around better. When you let God quench your thirst. What else?
My soul is so thirsty right now.
You thirsty?
That's all. I'm real thirsty. My soul is real thirsty right now. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah. And then
my soul is real thirsty.
Your soul, and I hope you got a little bit of hydration.
I
hope
do.
You got a little bit of hydration.
I don't even have my Pepsi tonight. I got some water right here, but I'm real thirsty, and it tastes real good. It really do.
Because when you change, the things that quench your thirst change. The things that quench your thirst change. It was crazy because when I was come down the steps and I was going in the refrigerator to get something to drink. Sean, that's my husband, said, "Get you a water so you don't be dehydrated." And I bust out laughing because he knew what the title of the lesson was this week. But what else? What else? What any other observations about the chapter, Shantanese? I really did like because I didn't know who the Amaleks were either. I was like, oh wow, this was Esau's grandson. This makes sense. All I know is somebody was coming to attack them.
Right, because it came out of left field to me, because we got to the part about how them being thirsty, then bam, they at war. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Who these people?
Because look, now you because guess what? Now that you got what you was wanting, right? Your guard is down. Your guard is down now. So you
because you relieve, so you ain't thinking about it, and then you still gotta stay on your
you gotta be on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel, ladies, at all times. Because even though you're not thirsty anymore, something else about to come up. You're never going to not need to be hydrated in one area or another in your life. Your some area in you is going to need some attention.
Yeah,
you got to keep your head on a swivel so you can know, like, okay, that part of me needs a little bit more attention. And then once I get that some attention and that's operating and that arm can move a little bit better, let me get this a little bit more attention. So you got to keep your eye on the swivel, and you got to be in tune with what you need. And then when you quenching your thirst, consult God and say, God, at this time in my life, do I need this Pepsi or do I need some Kool-Aid? Because this might be a time that I need some Kool-Aid. I might not need a Pepsi, or I might just need some water.
Or just asking whatever you need in my cup, please just pour it.
Fill it, God. Whatever I need in my cup, God, just fill it up. You fill it up. You don't let me fill it up. You fill it up. I love that, Shantanese. Whatever I need in my cup,
you
Lord,
put it in there.
You put it in there. Don't even let me have the options. Don't even give me no. Do you want A, B, or C?
Too many options.
Yeah, I might make the wrong choice.
Yeah, you make the wrong choice. Exactly.
Yeah, Lord, I like that. You fill it up, because what we do also know, ladies, that we've learned over this week, that we can't pour from an empty cup, right? I can't come out and I can't pour. I can't do my job because, again, I told you, when you dehydrated, your whole body not operating properly. So I can't even come out here and do what I need to do. I can't even walk the streets right. I can't even do my job right. I can't even be the best mother. I can't even be the best wife, the best sister, the best friend, because I'm dehydrated.
Yeah.
So I can't be the best teacher. I can't be who I need to be because I'm dehydrated. So maybe next time when we looking at ourselves being in a bad mood, or possibly have a headache, or we might feel like we're going through some type of withdrawals, maybe the first thing we should do is ask God what we need to be hydrated. Don't take it upon ourselves and say, you know what? Let me just go get this water real quick. Ask God, what do I need? What about me need to be hydrated? Because sometimes it's us that need the fixing. What part of me should I be focusing on, God?
I got another thing I kind of observed that made me realize what maybe a flaw of mine is I don't like asking for help. What made me
God.
I like if somebody really know me and they hear me talking, I want them to just be like, what you need, I got it, instead of just asking for it. But what made me really realize that may still be a flaw of mine is the part when Jethro, when he starts talking to Moses at the end and telling him, hey, you're going to overwhelm yourself, you need help. When we first started reading that, I kind of was on the defense about it. I was like, well, how do you know what he needs? God didn't say he need help. God didn't tell him get all them people. That wasn't your say. But then when we start talking about it, and you were like, well, he must care for him because he saw that he was exhausted. He saw that it wasn't supposed to be the job of one man. Me, I was like, well, why am I defensive? Like that.
No, and that's real. I like that. Because that,
for me,
a lot of us, but that take humility though to accept that help, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I had to touch on that part that I touched on. We expecting something from people that they can't give us, right? We mad because we need this help. You know, he said, and as a father-in-law, he probably said, I'm not about to bring my daughter back to this.
Yeah.
Think about, he brought his daughter and their children back to him. But when you gonna be able to spend time with them? When you gonna be able to be a husband to her? When you gonna be able to be a father to your children?
So he was just being wise and looking outside in.
And think about this. That's his father-in-law. So again, he probably already made some of these wrong decisions. So I already messed up in this area. So let me help you so you don't make some of these same mistakes. And I think that sometimes we need to take constructive criticism, right? You gotta believe like, God, you sent this person to me and hope that they have my best interest in heart. And think about it, Shantanice. And Moses probably felt like, I'm tired, right? And who knows? He might have been saying, you know what? I think I can't do this by myself. And Jethro just came to confirm in his spirit already what he knew he needed. So so sometimes we do. I need help, right? But guess what? Just because I see you needing help, I might not know you want to accept my help because I might have my own insecurities, right? Of saying, I offered my help to somebody before and they turned me down, and that did something to me because they felt like, well, what you think I'm weak? What you think I can't handle it? I got this. So sometimes we are not so much offering because we might be also afraid ourselves of that response.
Yeah.
Of that response. So my sister always say, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah.
Amen.
How I know you need some help if you don't tell me, because I might think you got it.
Especially when you got somebody that's strong. Like I'm I'm a hyper independent woman. I've always been that way. Most people not going to think like she need help because I'm not going to voice it often. But like you got to really know somebody like from inside out to see and then offer without having to say something. So he must have really, really had a strong caring. For Moses, and really, like you said, notice how his spirit was getting drained and depleted. And that's need them kind of people.
And just remember, when somebody is offering you to help, don't look at it like it's something bad. Like, oh, they feel like I'm weak. Like, and that's what we do. We are women have to. We do everything. We nurture. We take care of the kids. We clean the house. And then from in the beginning. And that's why I tell people, and I'm starting to tell the younger women that I talk to, like somebody had put in here, set boundaries, right? Set boundaries from the very beginning. Because sometimes we get in these relationships and we so happy that we in a relationship that we do everything. We wash the clothes, we cook the food, we clean up, we do everything. And then we get tired, right? And then we start having animosity towards that person because they don't want help. We already came in doing all of it. So when we slamming dishes in the kitchen or refusing to cook or picking arguments, they looking at us like we crazy. Like, wait a minute, but you've been doing this. So I'm saying, ladies, set the boundaries in the beginning. Let people know what you're going to do and what you're not going to do in all of these relationships and your friendships. Look, we going to go out. You got a car, I got a car. I'm not going to keep driving.
Yep.
We in this relationship, you cook, I cook, you clean the dishes. You cook, I clean the dishes. You wash the clothes, I fold them up. You cut the lawn outside, I keep the inside clean. But I can't. I've been doing it all for so long. I can't do it for all much longer. Because see, again, you got me working, like Michael Jackson said, you got me working day and night. And in this relationship, whatever it is, even in this work relationship that Moses had with these people, when do I get to breathe? When do I get to eat some bread? When do I get to enjoy the water from the rock? I'm giving you all of this. But what am I getting? But I'm tired. My wife is neglected. My kids running amok. But y'all standing around here and y'all getting your situations dealt with, and y'all going home happy. And I'm going home, gotta hear the bickering. You've been over there in that place judging people all day long. You know how we do, ladies. You've been judging people all day, and now you come back here and you don't even want to watch these Hallmark movies with me because you didn't gave them all of you. What you got left to give me? What other observations do we have?
I love boundaries.
You love boundaries?
I love boundaries. I love boundaries.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah,
so I
love boundaries now.
Now that your thirst has changed, right?
Yeah.
Your
right.
the things that your hydration has changed. Did you always like boundaries though?
No, I didn't always like them because I never set them, but setting them now, yeah.
It's necessary. It's necessary for your sanity. It is.
For your sanity, and you want to set healthy ones at that.
Healthy boundaries. That's the key. Healthy boundaries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Healthy boundaries. And if we take anything from this, ladies, we want to take one. It's okay to ask for help. It don't make you weak, but ask for help from the right people.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to ask for help from people that's just going to turn around and throw it back in your face and say,
my God.
or tell everybody. Yeah.
My God.
Y'all think Shantani's got it going on, but she don't got it going on because you know what, she called me and asked me for some help. Make sure you ask the right people. Do a little test. Like if you're going to help somebody and if you're going to be of help, nobody should even know that you gave them that help unless they want to tell. They want to tell. But the neighbor down the street.
People that won't throw it in your face because that will.
Yes.
You have, and we getting into a little debacle and you throw it in my face, I know exactly that it was not genuine.
Yes.
That was like
exactly.
Me. Don't throw that in my face. That wasn't a genuine situation.
It wasn't genuine. And the Bible also say don't give grudgingly, right? And that's even your help. That's even your help. If you're going to give your help grudgingly, don't give it. And also, and this goes both ways. So if somebody needs your help and you see that they need help, ask them, do you need help? It's not just really about us either. Also, it's about how we give help. Also will be how we receive help. And if you do have to help somebody, nobody else should know. Now, if they want to go out and tell somebody what you did for them, let them tell it. But it shouldn't be you saying, because, girl, you shouldn't be putting it on some paper. And I remember that my Pastor Brown, when he was here, used to say, we don't mind being seen. I don't give to be seen, but I don't mind being seen given. So if you're going to do it for if you're going to do it for the wrong reasons, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're going to help for the wrong reasons, keep your help to yourself. But also remember, it goes both ways. So the same thing, do it for your do it yourself. So I got one last thing I'm gonna say, and then we can get ready to close it out. So I said, ladies, stay hydrated, because when we are thirsty, we make bad decisions. Don't forget that as you grow in the Lord, the things that quench your thirst before might not work now, and that's okay. You are changing, and the things that you were thirsty for will change too. During your alone time, I want you to make a list of the things that made you thirsty and put a date on it. And then in about 3 months, see if all of those things that stay on the list or if some more get added. Because as we changing, our thirst should change. The things we thirst for should change. So today's date, November 9th, make a list. As of today, these things I'm thirsty for. And then in 3 months, see if it change. Anybody else have any observations before we go?
Not an observation. Just want to say I really did enjoy the Bible study.
Oh,
and thank
Johnny,
you for doing this
thank
every
you
Thursday.
so much. I love it. Y'all, welcome Marianne. Marianne came to the Bible study, and we have another person here, Alexis. Welcome to Bible study. I'm so glad you guys could come and join us, and I hope you liked it. I hope you loved it, and I hope you come again and then bring a friend.
That's right. Look at this screen. I'm so amazed at this screen. I took a picture too.
Okay.
And
Alexis, I don't have your email, so put your email in here for me so I can email you. So you'll be on our email list, so you'll get the next week readings and the recaps and everything. Oh, we gotta do some holiday maintenance, y'all. So next week, is it okay? We need to have Bible study on Wednesday because my nephew's birthday is Thursday and we're going out for his birthday. So does Wednesday work better for I got you. Does Wednesday work better? Brenda, get that for me. Does Wednesday work better for does Wednesday work for everybody next week?
You still doing the same time?
7 o'clock. Yep. It'll just be Wednesday. Okay. And then the following week is Thanksgiving, y'all. So we're gonna skip Thanksgiving. That we'll
we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it on Wednesday. I'm just asking for a friend.
Wait, so all my friends, some of us have friends. Y'all are hilarious. So
I know some of y'all gotta cook.
Yeah, some of us have to cook.
You want to do it on Tuesday?
So y'all gonna take me from Wednesday to Tuesday?
I'm just asking for a friend.
You the Friday after.
I'm cool with Tuesday. Sounds good to me.
We can do Black Friday.
Wait, Black Friday, I'm not going to be able to teach
no Black Friday.
No Black Friday. Okay.
But look, Monday or Tuesday.
So y'all going to take me from, we're going to have to go Wednesday next week. And then.
That's real close.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. So y'all feel like y'all can't make it a week without Bible study?
No.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. If you really want me for me, no.
Wait a minute, Danielle, unless you have your mini Bible study for certain people that wants it.
Or you just send it to me personally. You can do that too. You can do it.
And I'm not going to record it. Y'all are hilarious. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let me pray
I need
on
the
that.
Word. Okay.
I hear y'all. Let me pray on that.
And I'm
see what God said.
I'm gonna pray too.
Pray too. And Brenda, you got that address for me? Give me a thumbs up. And I was like, okay. So that we'll figure out what we're gonna do Thanksgiving week.
We'll figure it out next week. Yeah.
So next Wednesday,
she must have sent it to just you.
Oh, send it to me. Okay. So she did. She direct messaged me. Okay. All right. I got it. So I'll just take a picture. So we are I'll decide what we're going to do
by next Friday.
Wednesday at 7. Everybody gave me thumbs up. We're working for Wednesday next at 7 o'clock, right?
Yes, that will.
All right. So Wednesday at 7, we will be able to meet for Bible study. And then we'll figure out in prayer what we're going to do the following week. Okay? All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.
I thank y'all for keeping it real. And I can't wait to keep it real with y'all next week.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.